Bonjour, je m'appelle Bola.
Bola is from Benin, and in her early 20s, she moved to France. She missed her family a lot, so she would send them gifts.
I always wanted to send everything that I got in France back to my family.
She sent food, clothes, phones, but there was one thing she couldn't send.
Medical care.
See, when her father got sick back in Benin, she felt helpless. In France, she had a lot of health options for medical care, but her father didn't, and he wasn't the only one.
Millions of people in Africa don't have access to insurance and basic health care.
So that's why she started Suzu. Here's how it works. People living in a different country, just like Bola, can buy health insurance plans for their families back home. Suzu helps them get access to world-class remote doctors, especially if there are no doctors where they live. And the Suzu app helps them pay for doctor bills and make a custom health plan.
No matter where you live, you should be able to get the same standard of healthcare.
Thanks to Bola, families around the world can now send the gift of a lifetime: health.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bola will take us on an exploration of a diverse city of Benin, but at the same time presenting the nuanced realities of an adult home. And of course, you'll see a little bit of her app on the side. With that said, please bring together on the stage Bola Bardet of Suzu. Bola, bienvenue. Tu es prêt? Vas-y.
So,
Bonjour.
This is Fatiu. Like half of African adults, he suffered from hypertension. And because of this, he was not eligible to health insurance. Without access to medical care, he lost 10 years of life expectancy. Hi, my name is Bola, and Fatiu was my father. I lived in Europe, far away from him, and when he became sick, I felt powerless to help him. His sudden death at 65 was the spark that launched Suzu. There are 400 million of Africans in similar situations. The current system excludes vulnerable patients like the elderly, pregnant women, and chronic patients, leaving just 3% of the population with access to health insurance. On top of that, these vulnerable patients end up dealing with their condition alone, as they have no information about what to do to improve their health. No one monitors their condition, and no one makes sure that they get the right treatment over time. The paradox is that the money to fix this is there, as Africans abroad like myself send $20 billion each year to finance healthcare for their loved ones. But simply sending money is not enough. The senders are sending money blindly. They don't even know if it's actually paying for healthcare. And that's where we come in. We provide a simple system to turn these $20 billion into effective healthcare for the people who need it. We offer care packages and health insurance that can be financed by family members everywhere in the world. Our services are operated by more than 1,400 healthcare professionals, members of our network. Our care packages help vulnerable persons like my father deal with conditions like diabetes, hypertension, and pregnancy. They consist of tailored medical programs and personalized follow-up at home, on the phone, or through our apps. And to provide a better medical experience, we have built a complete digital platform at the core of our services that connect the beneficiaries, the family members, and the healthcare professionals. In terms of traction, we triple our revenue each year and currently generate $1.4 million of ARR. And we anticipate a more aggressive growth over the coming months, as we have just signed a partnership with Orange Money, which gives us access to their 50 million customers. We are the perfect team to tackle this problem. With my co-founder, Laurent, we lead a team of 30 passionates between Côte d'Ivoire, Cameroon, Senegal, and France. We are building affordable and accessible healthcare for 1.5 billion Africans. Come join us.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, Q&A with Bola and the judges, Ibukun, Diane, and Joe. Thank you.
You look amazing, by the way. And so was your presentation. And your passion definitely came through. So it's clear. But can I ask, my first question is, because your model is pitched against people with families in diaspora, so it's a select group of people that you're targeting as your customers. It doesn't affect the general market of those who are within the continent who need the same healthcare solution. So this is more an upmarket service.
Can I answer?
Yes, you can.
Thanks a lot for providing me the opportunity to explain further my model, because in 3 minutes you cannot say everything. Actually, our model is built on 2 main pillars. The first main pillar is to basically resolve the injustice of not providing healthcare to the people who actually need it more. The insurance companies are happy to cover the people who don't need healthcare. And that's a paradox. So we are trying to solve that by providing alternative solutions to insurance to the people who actually need it. And usually it's groups like people with chronic conditions, pregnancy, etc. So that's the first pillar. So we try to bring other solutions than insurance to the people who need it. The second part, and that will answer your question, is about the financing. Our model is about a third financer. We want to make sure that everyone can access healthcare through someone else who can finance the service for him. So we started with the diaspora, and that's still the main part of our model. But we are already working on other third-party financiers. For example, the corporate. So an employer can finance healthcare on behalf of his salaries, or it can be a charity organization, Bill and Melinda Gates, or I don't know. So we want to democratize the fact that a third party can finance healthcare for their loved ones. An example is that, for example, if a pregnant woman subscribes to our app, she can directly ask some family members, even in the country, in Côte d'Ivoire, to subscribe and to co-pay the service with her. For example, we have an offer at 7.5 euros a month. She can say, I pay for 2 euros, and my husband will pay the rest, and my friend, etc. It's the notion of third-party and collaborative financing that we want to introduce to healthcare, because we think that it's the key to providing access to healthcare in Africa.
Okay. Trust.
Wow, your passion is contagious. It's
Sorry, I'm a bit stressed out.
No, but the passion is unbelievable. So, you know, I think I'm wondering, how do you deal with data protection and privacy issues? Because in all countries, in my country in particular, it's becoming more and more stringent. And here, the most private data, you want people to share them with family members, and you know, how do you deal with that? So that's my first question.
Yeah, okay.
You know, and by the way, I like the business model because I can relate. You want to offer the most critical goods and services to your, loved ones, and offering, healthcare is, I think, probably better than sending a phone or a gift, whatever gift, etc. But my question again is, it requires a lot of digital literacy, because you want to teach pregnant women what to eat, when to, visit the next visit of the doctor, etc. This requires a lot of digital literacy and even, health literacy. How do you deal with that?
Okay, so starting with your first question about data privacy. So we comply by every law, obviously, in each country that are around digital privacy, digital data privacy. And our model is three-parted, right? We have the beneficiaries, we have the payers, the family members, and we have the doctors. So when the beneficiary subscribes to our service, she needs to sign a consent form and agree to share some part, not all, of her care journey with her families. For example, let's take a diaspora model. I'm in France, my mother is in Benin, she has hypertension. I worry about her, complying to her care schedule. So I want to be informed if she's going, if she's not going, and then I want to support her. So we just share that part of the healthcare plan with her. We don't share the medical data and everything because it's really very personal, and it's up to the beneficiary to share it with her family member if she wants. So that's how we make it. And the healthcare professionals, obviously, they have to sign a consent form and they abide by the medical secrecy. So that's the first part of your question. So the second part is about the diaspora, right? No, the literacy, the digital literacy. You are very right about it. For us, the digital platform is an asset. It's not a constraint for the people. So they have, I mentioned that people can be followed up on the phone, or at home, or through our apps. And we see that depending on the population of our beneficiaries, the usage change. For example, a pregnant woman, she will be around between 20 years old and 45. They are usually digital tech savvy, right? And usually they like to get their advices on the phone. They like to see when and where the next appointment will be happening, etc. So they are usually keen to having a digital asset to follow their care journey. If you take the people with diabetes or hypertension, usually they are a bit older, right? And usually they are not too tech savvy. These people, we follow them on the traditional way. So they get some calls from some nurses, they have their appointment that is reminded through the phone, through SMS and this kind of stuff. So they are less, so we give the opportunity for everyone to follow his care journey as he like, his or her care journey as his or her like.
Good.
Hi, Bola. How are you?
Very good.
First question. Do you still live in France?
I'm a citizen of the world. I like to say that because my story is complicated. So I was born in France, raised in Benin, and then I came back to France, and then I founded Suzu first in Côte d'Ivoire, and then we are now in Cameroon, Senegal. So I spend my life in planes and between different countries, but my official tax location is in Europe, yes.
How do you manage a company being a citizen of the world, traveling around? How does that work?
You have to solve that because we have a Pan-African ambition. We want to be in every single country in Africa. So the way we solve that is that basically we find the most expert country manager in each country. So we have country manager in each country where we operate. And we have a kind of structure where in France, for example, we have because we have some teams in France, right? So we have the support functions, the technology, the marketing, the project management, and in the country, we have a country manager which is basically leading a team of operational persons, a salesperson, operational, and the partners, obviously.
When you select country managers, what criteria do you apply to pick the best person, pick the most suitable person? And how many country managers have you picked?
So we have 3 for now. So one in Côte d'Ivoire, one in Senegal, and one in Cameroon. This is a very difficult question because I was discussing with someone yesterday, and I said the most difficult part of my work is human being, is managing the human being, because recruitment is very challenging. You need to find the people who are passionate enough and trustworthy enough, because this is important in our continent, to give them the keys of the house, right? So we go through a long process, and we try also to find more junior resources that are very motivated. We coach them, and we make them basically be promoted over the, I don't know, sorry for I need to think in English, in French and talk in English, so it's a bit complicated.
And, okay. Next question is about the business. Help me understand. Do you, I mean, you work as an agency sitting on top of other insurance companies, right? And are you involved in organizing the providers? How do you do that?
Yes, definitely. So again, I want to make it clear, we are not just a broker, right? We provide insurance for the people that the insurance companies are willing to take, right? And for the others that are rejected by insurance providers, we build our own models, working with medical doctors. For example, if you take someone with diabetes, we work with diabetes specialists, and we put together a medical schedule, okay, that they go through so to operate that, we work with medical consultants that we hire, so they work with us, consultants and partner. We organize the care journey. We are not a clinic or a pharmacy ourselves, and we make sure that through our processes and through our apps, and with the help of the partners who operate the service, we are able to make the beneficiaries happy with their healthcare improved, and the family members who are paying happy as well.
Okay. And I think this idea of a third-party financed of healthcare is very powerful.
It's key. That's the main problem to healthcare in our continent, is the financing. Let's not lie to ourselves. We can have the best doctors, we can have the best clinics. If the people are not able to pay, they are not going to attend the clinic. That's it.
Yeah. So I'd like you to kind of open up our minds a little bit and think about like what other third parties will be willing to finance somebody else's healthcare. We've seen government finance models. We've seen companies finance the healthcare of their employees. And then you talked about family members paying for the costs of care of parents and things like that. So what other possibilities who are the other parties that could, be interested in using this third-party finance model?
So it can be, a random person in Europe who wants to, help people. You have a lot of charity, organization, association, etc. It can also go through charity. It's not our main model today, but we can imagine that our model can be extended to the charity model or to other organizations. I mentioned again the Bill and Melinda Gates, but there are a lot of organizations who can finance basically some specific healthcare verticals, depending on their area of interest. I want to mention also the Alibaba Foundation.
Right.
How long have you been doing this?
So we created the company in 2019, and we were operational in 2020. So just during the COVID crisis, yes, we started.
And within that period, I understand the response to the issue of not staying in one place to build up.
Yeah.
And I'm just trying to think from an entrepreneur's perspective about establishing and testing the model in a place before you scale it into other countries. But you're already in 3 countries and you have country managers and all of that. I just think for a company that is still under 3 years, there's still a lot of learnings because the model is still being fine-tuned. Have you not increased the risk of the business and the possibility of failure in terms of the fact that without proof of concept in total in an area, you've already moved, and each country you move to, there are differences. So you're going to have to remodel.
I agree.
Yes. So I'm wondering if you're not losing some value with that rapid growth without testing out and all of that.
You made a very, very good point. So we started with one country first, Côte d'Ivoire. So we first opened Côte d'Ivoire, and we stayed in Côte d'Ivoire for 2 years, testing the model in Côte d'Ivoire, etc. Before opening, recently, it was in 2022, Cameroon and Senegal. We choose to stay in the same region because it's the same insurance law, it's the same trading law as well, basically. So we don't take too much risk. It's maybe some cultural differences, but the way to do business within that area is the same within these 3 countries in the SIMA zone, basically. So we know that there's a risk of rolling up too quickly in other countries, but we try to control it through testing the model first in one country and then developing in other countries and staying in the same region first, because I think we mitigate the risk that way. On the other side, we don't have the choice of doing otherwise, because Francophone Africa, we have very small markets in these areas, so you cannot really develop a big business only stay in Côte d'Ivoire. If you compare it to Nigeria, it's maybe 1/3 of Nigeria, 1/10 of Nigeria, right? So it doesn't work. We need to go to other places, and we don't want to stay only in Francophone Africa. We want to go all the ways to all the countries where we can go in Africa, but we need to start somewhere, and we are starting in Francophone Africa.
Okay. Do you have a final?
So I was just wondering, how do people pay for the services, and how do you make sure that they actually pay
All
when
the
payment is due?
We have the diaspora payers. For example, they can pay with their credit card, they can pay with SEPA payments, they can pay with all possible digital ways, basically. And in countries, they can use mobile money, they can use bank account, they can use every kind of payment. So all of these payment models are plugged into our digital platform.